Yeah.
Well, welcome everyone. I'm Robin Brown. I have the honor of leading our philanthropic efforts here at Northwest Center and have my wonderful team here today. We've got Jason Sears, who is our development manager, Bill Kruger in charge of strategic relationships and partnerships. We've got Laura Carter on the phone, who is our grants manager and many other things extraordinaire. And I'm here this morning or afternoon now to give you a great update on our Derby, as well as a few other things. But first, we're going to get started. We have a special guest this morning. It's Gene Bose, our president and CEO. He's going to give you a little bit of an update on where we're at as an organization and a little bit of an outlook of what we have to look forward to. Gene?
Great, thanks, Robin. Love to see all the familiar faces here today. Thanks for taking time to jump on this call. My biggest message, really, I want to be brief, is just to say thanks and remind you of what you're part of. So the North and Northwest Center is the North that we drive for. It's the world that we all deserve, actually. It's the inclusive world where 100% of kids have equitable access to education and where the employment rate for people with disabilities is the same as the employment rate for the general population. So thank you again for being part of that journey and for helping us put that North and Northwest Center. As far as the organization, I would just briefly say this, that about 19 months ago when we got hit with this global pandemic, we reached out to our organization and said, look, this is the time where we need to lean forward, not lean back, and really deliver on mission. And they stood up and leaned in and kept delivering on mission. So I'm incredibly proud of what they've done and how they've responded. And again, I'm proud and thankful for what you've done, because you've supported us ongoing, but through the pandemic. And now we come up on another Derby that's going to be virtual. And so you play a key role. So this idea of being a table captain is critical, because it takes people and attendance for us to be successful. And you're the ones that are helping garner that group that's going to get together again at the beginning of November. So thank you for all that you're doing to help us create the world we all deserve. So with that, let me hand it back to you, Robin.
Thank you, Gene. And for those of you who don't know, I know many of you on the call do, is Gene is a parent, a proud parent of Tori, who also has autism. So he is a boots on the ground, understanding this mission day in and day out, but also our fearless leader who is highly innovative and helping us charge towards this North. So thank you, Gene. We're excited to carry out and get excited about the Derby. So I see that I'm the only one wearing my Derby hat right now.
I can run and get mine.
Well, no, that's all right. But I hope on November 6th that everybody has their Derby hat. Jason, it shows that I'm muted. Am I muted?
No, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Well, wonderful. Well, I'm so excited to have you all here. We have, like I said, there were about 8 to 10 more people that are going to be showing up, or we'll just catch them up later. So we'll get started. Just wanted to do a quick recap of last year's Derby. Excited to have you here. Wanted to kind of just quickly show you some of the results that we had last year, because it was a tremendous success. And it was only a tremendous success due to our incredible table captains who really helped fill the virtual room, if you will, bringing supporters and people new to the mission, as well as our sponsors. That really made the difference for us. We raised over $300,000. We were able to have 300 impressions. That's really just getting the word out in the community. And we had over 30 table captains, which was just outstanding. And if you didn't know, we also won national recognition with a Corporate Social Responsibility Award for our efforts with the Derby. And that was for innovation. That was for coming to life in a new way as events really had to transition online. So we were really proud of that. Our team continues to learn more and really try to bring the best out in this event. And so we look forward to putting on an incredible experience this year. So what you see on the left and the right of the screen, we take out ads in the Seattle Met. So we were able to share out the great work that our table captains did on the right. You know, those are all of our wonderful table captains and supporters, as well as our sponsors. And then on the left, we got to share a little bit of the kind of experiences that our house parties had, as well as our online Zoom parties. So all in all, it was a tremendous success, and we're just really grateful for supporters like you all who are ready to roll up your sleeves and rally your friends, family, and coworkers to come and join us in this year's event. So for this year, our revenue goal is $312,000. Currently, we've raised about $116,000, and it keeps on growing. Our sponsor goal, woot woot, for those of you, our goal was $65,000 this year, and we are currently at $66,000, and we're not going to stop there. So if anyone knows of any sponsors, companies who really want to get involved and get the word out, we have time, and we're ready to honor them as a supporter. Our current table captain count is 17, and our goal is 30 this year. I think we have one more coming on today, so that'll make it at 18. And I know we have a handful on the call here today that haven't fully committed yet, but we're hoping by the end of this phone call that you'll join us and become table captains along with the rest of us. So with that, I'm going to actually introduce Bill Kruger, and he's going to take us through some of the exciting elements. One thing I will mention is we have our incredible MC and auctioneer this year. Again, if you got to catch it last year, we had King Five's Chris Cashman, along with Fred Northrup, who is the resident expert around town. We have a few other elements. We'll be honoring Alex Bogard, CEO of Brown & Brown, who is an inclusive employer, amongst so many other things, just a tremendous leader in our community. But we have a great lineup for the entire evening for you, which will last about 75 minutes on November 6th. So not an entirely long evening, but a really jam-packed experience. So Bill, I'll pass it to you. I know you were going to share some exciting news about the live auction items and other elements. Oh, I think Bill's on mute. Jason?
Hi, everybody. I'm sorry about that. Thank you, Robin, for the introduction. And yeah, this is great that all of you could take time out of your lunch and your day to participate in this. I mean, we need the energy of table captains to make this work. It worked well last year. We meet the challenge again of the fatigue of having to be online and virtual again. We really, really wanted to be at the King Street Ballroom, but just didn't really felt like it made a lot of sense. And so, you know, we're having to get over that hurdle. The hurdle of what we've had to invest in the hotel and to try to make the money that we need to make off this event. And it's going to be contingent upon getting people to show up. And you don't have to necessarily find a babysitter or do a lot of logistical work. You just have to be in, for many of you, just to get in front of the computer. We're going to be talking a lot about, you know, more creative ways to engage with your friends via house party. We're going to get to all that. So there's other ways to be connected with people and have fun and have a big party and also participate around, we think is a very cool hour of television, because that's the way we think about it. We do it in the studio. We have talented people. We are thinking of ways to make it more fun and more interesting. And we're not going to keep you there for hours. It's going to be fast moving and hopefully very, very successful. So we're going to encourage you and give you all the tools you need to recruit folks and make it as seamless and easy as possible to get those folks registered and involved. So item-wise, we got some fun items. We've got our friends from Down Under Travel back. They're going to do a, you know, soup to nuts Tahiti vacation. They've done them in Australia, New Zealand. We've had them in the past. It's an unbelievable donation where you're really getting airfare, you're getting tour, you're getting 4 or 5-star hotels, you know, all the right places to go and see for a week. New item is the Grand Canyon helicopter tour. That's we're working on with this with a guy that basically is a good friend of mine that owns a hotel down there, and they also have the largest helicopter touring company in the country out of Las Vegas. So that'll be a fun getaway. Working on a Kraken suite and some signed items from our new team in town. So that'll be fun. Our Seahawk package, there'll be tickets. There'll be a special celebrity surprise involved with that, with sort of a meet and greet meal, much like I do with my Mariner experience, which we've had year after year. There'll be some signed items. There'll be a lunch with me, a ball game with the team that won 90 games last year. I think people will be chomping at the bit to have an experience around a team that looks to be poised to make a playoff run next year. Our good friend Joel Freed, who's on the call, has promised us that we can do our Seahawk gear that we did last year, which people loved. So we're excited to bring that back again. Joel has been an incredible partner. Cutter and Buck, incredible partnership with us, supporting the golf tournament. Really, Joel, we can't thank you enough for all that you did for that. And you just can't say no. You're just going to have to figure out how to disconnect yourself from me, because I'm always at your doorstep asking for something. But nonetheless, we really are excited about that item. Our Sun Valley trip is back. We're looking to add some fun stuff to that. We'll have a stay there as we've had in the past with my good friend Mike Christian, and looking maybe to add some fun things to it. Maybe a roundhouse lunch, which is the famous old Mid-Mountain facility up there. It's been there for eons. And maybe Christina's for lunch, where all the stars of Sun Valley kind of show up. But last time I was there, I was sitting next to Tom Hanks and his wife. So, the who's who. So that's a fun trip. We've got some Hamilton tickets that we're going to pair up with a hotel stay and a dinner. We're working on and completing a trip to Scottsdale, where we're going to have tickets to a Mariner game, a behind the ropes tour led by broadcaster Rick Riz, and golf, and some good golf. Scottsdale National, Desert Canyon, and Desert Mountain, and Pinnacle Peak with celebrity Eric Hansen as your host. So that's going to be a fun package. And that got to get we're closing on a week's stay in Maui at a condo that a friend of mine has donated. So that's another really fun trip. Everybody's dying to get out and get away. So we think that will be very successful. So I think that gives you a little bit of a script of what we've got coming. We're working on a couple other things, a trip to Palm Springs that Mary Kay Cuthill is working on, and some things to go with that. So we think we have a great auction. Fred Northrup is the most skilled guy in the market when it comes to running these virtual events and knowing how to make those items really sing and get the audience engaged, because he's a TV personality, as is Chris Cashman. So we feel like we're in really good hands with those guys, and you're going to learn more about what we're doing to make this a more fun evening with some catering and house party concepts. So I'll throw it back to Jason. Is that where I'm throwing it?
Actually, what we wanted to do real quick is, we wanted to acknowledge our sponsors and also our table captains. And then we have a special guest here before we get into the nitty gritty of what it means to be a table captain, either in home or on Zoom. So our sponsors this year, we just have been so blessed. We have PNTA on the line here, and PNTA is our studio that we'll be shooting live from. And they've given us a generous donation, and we are so grateful. And we can't wait to be in studio with you on the 6th. Brown and Brown, Tracy Johnson, and Alex Bogart have been tremendous supporters. So we're really excited to have you back again. Brian Volkert, NPP, just incredibly grateful for all that you've done for us and continue to do. Brian also has been on our board of directors and has currently serves on our equity committee with Northwest Center. So Brian, I can't see you on the screen right now, but I'm just really grateful. We've got the rest of this big group. We've got Fry Buck, McDonald Miller, Moss Adams, Cornerstone, Chateau Ste. Michelle, which has just come in really big for us with the golf tournament and the Derby year over year. WaFed, Washington Capital. So Robin, thank you so much. We've got Coldstream, Joel with Cutter and Buck, and we've got the Pro Club, Judy. You've just been so good to us, and we couldn't be more grateful. So this is how we're able to put on an incredible event, and we are endlessly humbled. Thank you. And then the next slide, we have our incredible committee. We've got Brian Evison and Stacy Lill, who have kind of just feed us a lot of good information. Camille Dye, who's a parent, and she'll be sharing her story here in a moment with us. Mary Kay Cuthill, so involved with us, 2 years on the committee. She's a parent, has a blog called Macy and Pebble, if you'd like to read it. She helps other parents of kiddos with autism to navigate the system. and her husband as well just joined the board. So they're incredibly committed. Robin Grad has been such an incredible supporter as well on our committee and just donating and championing our cause. And Tracy Johnson, the biggest cheerleader ever. Tracy's been on our committee for many years. We're just incredibly grateful for her generosity and her leadership. And of course, Marcy Muhlstein. I'm not sure she's on the call today, but we're grateful for her support as well. And with that, I did tee up Camille Dye. Camille is one of our incredible parents who you may recognize from one or two of our communications in the past, but Camille not only continues to bless us, but she is just an incredible parent, an incredible partner in her inclusive journey. And we're really excited for her to come and just share a little bit about her journey with you right now. Camille?
Hi, everyone. I feel the same way. I'm kind of honored to get to participate in this and to partner with an organization that's done so much for my family. My son, if you haven't heard, it feels like every time I open the newspaper, there's a new ad with their faces. Folks are always telling me, I just saw you in the Seattle Times. But it really is an honor. My son was born with a syndrome called 22q11, and it's a genetic syndrome that can have over 180 different symptoms, and you really don't know what you're going to get until your kiddo kind of starts growing up. So for us, our journey really started about 4 days after my son was born with open heart surgery. And there's a lot of complications that come with that when it's such a small body has had such a big traumatic event. And one of the things that we really knew we were going to have to deal with quite early on in our journey was a feeding tube. And with that comes feeding therapy. And so we were really looking for an inclusive space for our son. And we didn't just want a place that had the capacity to care for him. We also wanted to find a place that really used inclusiveness as part of their mission. We wanted a place that was thriving and was actually saying that that's what they had. We wanted to find a place that wasn't just providing the bare minimum for our child, but also for other students, and then also trying to exceed it. And we found Northwest Center through lots of Google searches and discussions with therapists. And we got on the wait list immediately upon finding out our son's syndrome. Fast forward a little bit, my son now does not have a feeding tube. He is in speech therapy. He's still attending Northwest Center, and he's thriving. You would never know, never know. And there were days when we did have a feeding tube where I was like, are we ever going to get this kid to eat orally? Like, he just does not want to eat. And I really, with all my heart, mean that the fact that my son was able to sit at a table with his feeding tube and watch other students eat is a huge part of our success. There was a space where I'm sorry, I work at a school, so I always want to say student, where my student was able to sit at a table and get to participate in that feeding for other students. You know, from the time he was 6 months, he was sitting at a table and eating with his peers. You know, they'd set up the backpack with him, and he got to have his meal just like everyone else. And the way they enjoyed it was different, but eventually it became the same. And we just always wanted him to feel like he was part of that. And I really credit Northwest Center and the staff and the policies and the mission that they have. And so I don't need to take up a lot of time. It's obvious that there is a direct reason that I'm specifically here today. And I also want to thank everyone who is here, because you're going to help continue that journey for tons of families like mine. And that's really why I got involved as well, was my family has had a huge part of our lives given back to us because of Northwest Center, and future families are going to continue to do that because of the work that you all are doing here. So I appreciate it. And thank you for your support, your resources, and your time.
Well, thanks, Camille. And for those of you who don't know, Camille's a donor to the organization as well. And she also serves on our Derby committee. So just endless support. And, you know, I don't know how you do it, Camille. Thanks for sharing. And we look forward to hearing more about Jackson's journey. So we do have, just an FYI, we do have well, not only do we have some opportunity drawings at the actual Derby itself, but at the end of this call, we'll have an opportunity drawing for 2 Derby floral arrangements for you to have for the week of the Derby to get excited and get your Derby on in your own homes. But we also, we're going to talk a little bit about 2 things today. We're going to talk about the in-home parties as well as the Zoom calls. And I know many of you were actually on the Zoom calls last year, so we could probably breeze pretty quickly through those and then just share a little bit about the home parties, because last year those weren't as prevalent. But right now, what I want to do is I want to ask anyone to, if you want to come off of mute, but just if you have any questions before we dive into any of that. These muted calls are really tough, I have to tell you. I feel like a stand-up comedian with like an audience of nobody. So I'm going to take it that we have 0 questions.
Hey, Robin.
Yes.
I don't have a question, but I can hear you.
Thank you, Joel.
I want you to hear some background noise in this call.
You know, that feedback means a lot to me.
I'm eating carrots and hummus. I have to eat lunch in this time, so I have to mute myself. So
Yeah.
great job, everybody.
Well, thank you so much. So, Hugh, I see you on there, and I think you were part of this Zoom room last year. But I guess by a show of hands, is anyone looking at doing an in-home Derby party this year? I know I am. Okay, we've got a pretty good showing. That's exciting. And then a couple of others will probably do some Zoom rooms. So why don't we do this? Why don't we, the Zoom rooms are kind of, Tracy, if you want to share a little bit about your Zoom room experience, and then we'll move to the in-home, which is kind of the new and improved version of our parties. And Mary Kay will get to share a little bit about her experience. So Tracy?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for taking time today. So the Zoom room parties, I really like, because if you don't have an outfit, everybody can find a hat, right?
There it is.
And then, you
Yes.
know, ladies, grab a scarf. You got your outfit. You don't need a really fancy dress. You're good, right? I think one of the things that made our Zoom room so successful, couple of things. Number one, make sure you get your team, all your guests on early. So we hosted a little happy hour ahead of time just to make sure everybody was on the call and ready to go when the party started. The other thing is I really made sure that everybody obviously had the links. I touched base with them on a regular basis to make sure they were comfortable, be able to get on. I really encouraged everybody to go on and look at the auction items ahead of time, because you guys were all there. It goes kind of fast. So if you don't know what you really want to go for, you got to make sure, to me, I like to prep because I like stuff. Joel, I love my Seahawk coats. Thank you so very much. Looking forward to see what the new ones are. And then one of the other things is the thing that we found that we loved about the party is, you know, encourage dressing up. You can have as many people in the room as you'd like. And then what we did is we made sure that everybody that was in the Zoom room on the computer, and then we had everybody have their televisions on YouTube. So then you could still be in your Zoom room kibitzing about, what are you getting? What are you getting? Let's go for this. And if anybody wanted to organize and go together on something, and you could still watch the Zoom on your television. And then I think our Zoom was the last one on because we wanted to continue even afterwards. We wanted to continue to talk and have some fun and drink our little mint juleps and the absolute amazing food. I don't know. Did I miss anything?
No, that's perfect. In fact, if all of you got the FAQs, which you did because you were on the email list, but it kind of covered off a little bit on the basics of the virtual tables as well. So there's those basics there. And if you have any questions for us, please do let us know. The thing is, we are offering catering again this year. So if you want to cater if you're having a party of 2 in the Zoom room, And then others are also joining you, you can still get catered to your home. So there are options, and you can click that link inside the FAQ sheet. Thank you, Tracy. You were an excellent
thanks,
host,
Tracy.
There we
and we
go.
look forward to it again.
There's my hat.
I
have to
love
get a
it.
new hat now, since everybody's seen this one.
We all saw it. It's on video. And so Jason, I wanted to open it up for you to share a little bit about just the basics of the house party and tee up Mary Kay, because I know she's got some great tips for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited because last year we had only virtual tables. And so what Tracy just talked about is what everybody did. And I'll never forget, Tracy, after the show, going back in and seeing that you were still partying with your
That's right.
friends and still having a blast. So it was great that you just kept it going on. So you can have a lot of fun in the Zoom room. That is a possibility. But this year we can add the house parties to our way of connecting to the Derby. And we're going to extend the engagement, the really unique engagement we've done with our live show last year, into the house parties this year. So if you remember in our live show, this is something very unique. Not many nonprofits are doing in their fundraisers, is we were dropping in on those house parties and saying hi to everybody. You saw the whole grid and you're like saying hello. We're going to be able to do that for the house parties as well. And so that's an option. If that seems like something you'd like to be part of the live program, we'll schedule that in. So this year we're going to be doing these house parties. So that will be inviting folks into your home. And who better to talk a little bit more about what it's like to host a party than Mary Kay, who actually did manage to do a house party last year with some friends. So Mary Kay, would you like to share a little bit about some tips on house parties?
Sure, happy to. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, we had a house party. I guess we were sort of the rebels in the group by going off the grid and not having the virtual party. And I think partly because I'm not a huge tech person, so the virtual party sort of freaked me out. And we also had a group of our friends that we were very secure about in regards to the whole COVID situation. We trusted them, we knew them, we felt that they were in our bubble. So we were comfortable with the group that we had. So, I mean, I would definitely recommend that the same for this year. Obviously, we've got more freedoms with the fact that people have been vaccinated. I think, this is not the first of this situation. So I think we're all pretty experienced with what we need to do to be safe. So that's makes it certainly much more comfortable for people. And the house party is fun, obviously. It's a chance to, share what Northwest Center is all about in a more intimate setting. I think it's kind of a neat setting instead of maybe even being at the big forum of it in person. I think there's, the silver lining is you're, with a more intimate group. So we were able to really talk about Northwest Center in a really great way and share so many great things about what they do. I mean, we have not been the beneficiaries of the services through Northwest Center, but we feel that that would be something that will happen for us with our daughter, Macy. And we've seen other friends and people that we know, so we can, impact in that way. And we had fun. We had a theme, we had the theme of the Derbies. So then we had sent it out in our invitation. We had picked a name and it was Team Macy, no surprise. And we had our colors. So we were blue and pink. And so it gave people, I think, a team spirit going into the whole event. And then we did our dinner with ourselves. So I'm pretty excited the fact that there's even more of an opportunity for people to cater it through Northwest Center. I think that's a huge bonus and a nice offering from Northwest Center. And that's the thing too, is this team is super easy to work with. I mean, so having a house party or having a virtual party is so easy. It's really, really, I mean, they do 90% of the work. So it really, really is, fast and easy. So it's just about sending out the invitations. If you want a theme, if you want to make it fun, if you want to have colors, et cetera, and then decorate your house. We did all that, but you can go as big or as little as you want. I don't think it matters. And then the time of the event was really fun too. We had the event on our screen at home and everybody was having fun. We've had our appetizer kind of cocktail hour during that time. And then we did dinner after the event. So we were able to just continue on. And I think that was what was nice also about having the house party is we could just kind of keep the whole evening together and make it festive and fun. We did all the bidding obviously together, which was, I think, nice because then we could be, talking about amongst ourselves about that. And then when the Raise the Paddle came, we just did it for our friends. So it made it easy for them to just to do it. So they just reimbursed us back for whatever they were wanting to donate. So that was another easy way of doing it. And yeah, it was like I said, there was not a lot of work to it. I think sometimes that can be sort of intimidating for people that they might think it's a lot of work, but it really wasn't hard and it was really easy. And it was most importantly, it was very fun and very successful. And everybody, I think, was really happy to be there.
Thank you, Mary Kay. You just did a tremendous job last year and really helped keep your guests engaged. And if you got to catch last year's experience, our goal was to make it fun and entertaining, but also with engaging everyone in the mission. And I know that everyone could say that about their own because their baby's the cutest, right? But our event was really, truly so much fun. And we got a lot of great feedback about that. We're excited about the catering. And what I'm excited about too is Shelby Lanting joined our effort here. And we've got Jason and Bill and myself and Laura. And so what we wanted to do was make it really easy for everyone as table captains. We've got concierge service this year. So you don't have to worry about getting all your guests registered. You can just click on that link in the FAQ and one of us will reach out and get all of your people registered for you. Takes the time out, out of your day that you have to be spending on that, and we can just get it handled. That way we can get communications out to them. That's one of the most important things with these online events is just getting people's information so we can make sure that they have program booklets in hand. So when the auction comes up that they'll have that in front of them, as well as getting them registered for the bidding process. So it's easy as 1, 2, 3 the day of. So that's our ask of you is if you're able to just send us, click on that link and send us your people's names or email addresses and we'll reach out to them and get that started. Or you can also send a big group email out. I know I'm hosting in home, even though I'll be in the studio, but my husband will be hosting in home and I'll come home and join the rest of the party. But what we'll do is we'll send a big group email out to everybody in CC giving@northwestcenter.org. And then what our team will know is everybody's email addresses and be able to respond back and get everyone started. So not to get too technical on you, but we're just trying to make it simple.
Yeah. Thanks, Robin. And we have an important deadline coming up too, which is October 23rd. That's a couple weeks from Saturday. That's going to be the last day to order dinners. And it's also the last day that we can collect information in order to mail out those programs that are going to land in your doorsteps the week of the Derby. So we would love to get everyone registered and all the dinners ordered by October 23rd. And another option, in addition to the concierge service, which is just sending an email to giving@northwestnwcenter.org. In addition to that, we have an email coming out tomorrow, which is asking you to register. You can forward that email out to anyone that you're inviting, and that might make it easy to get them to register and get rallied as well. So yeah, I'll just throw this up really quick. A reminder that October 23rd is the deadline. We would love your help. If there's anything that we can do to help you out, we're just here to help. Like Mary Kay said, we love helping. We love making this easy. We want you to have a fun time and make this super easy. So let us know what we can do to do that. And then the email address and phone number are in the attachment of the email that I sent earlier today.
Fantastic. And Jason, if you can pull everybody back up, I think that there was a question that came up from Jen Ramirez. It looks like, what is the radius for the delivery of the dinners?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's within, I think they said within 15 miles, but we can accommodate 15 miles of Seattle. but we can accommodate outside that range. So there really is no limit. Obviously, if it's going to take a ferry to get to you, your food might be a little cooler on the cooler side. But we've been told that they can deliver just about anywhere. We just might need to make some special arrangements and make a special payment if there's additional cost for that.
That's great. Thank you. And then Shelby, who you all just met, who was so wonderful to work with us on the golf tournament and now the Derby. Shelby, you're going to be sending something out to all of the table captains the week of to get them ready and make sure their houses are prepared. What does that include?
Good question. Hi, everybody. Obviously, it's going to be a really fun box of things, not only that you need, but that you want to host a fun party. So think of decorations, think of little trinkets to be able to help build the catering, if you will, to make it super fun. Maybe some drinks in there as well. So lots of fun things coming to your doorstep the week of the event to just make you guys excited and get pumped up for it.
Awesome. Thank you. And two things to share. One is for the catering, you can receive just a la carte, not a la carte dinners, but individualized dinners. But we also have worked with the caterers so that if you're hosting in home, you can do a buffet style, which makes it really easy in terms of the setup. So I think that's a really nice addition this year. Bill, is there anything that we've missed or that you might add to this?
Yeah, just that, Jason, maybe you could just quickly tell everybody about the caterer and then that they'll be getting a menu from us. But tell them, how we arrived at the caterer.
Yeah, we have, I'm just putting in the chat right now, the website for the Derby, which you should find in all of the emails we send you. All of the information you need is on that website. And right now live is the full catering menu. So you'll be able to get on there and you see the three main options for the dinners. And there is, for the catering box that feeds up to 14 people, there is so much in there. It's like the list, it's exhausting going through the list, but Casper's we're partnering with, they've been doing this for more than a year now. They've specialized now in providing really good food for virtual events. And so they know what they're doing and they've got great food. And we've even included a couple of specialty Derby themed items in there. So do get in there and check it out. And they're $75 for individuals and $790 for the catering box, which will feed up to 14. And if you need anything custom, just reach out with that concierge service. We can take care of custom orders as well.
Thanks,
Also,
Jason. Oh, go ahead, Bill.
I'll be real quick. So also, we're going to be providing wine for this catering package, and our good friends and longtime supporters, Chateau Saint Michel, and their high quality product will be accompanying those catering parties. Yeah, they've been so good to us. They're providing us a lot of wine for our event, and we just love them.
Yeah, they're awesome.
That's right. That's a good point. And just one thing to note, I know Jason mentioned that Casper's has been doing in-home deliveries for parties for over a year. They've been doing catering for over 30 years in the area. So they're well-versed in this. They come highly recommended and they won't disappoint if you're hosting at home or just having a quiet dinner at home while you watch the event itself. I would love to open it up and find out if there's any other questions. If everyone feels confident in their in-home parties. Yeah, okay.
There's no questions. I think it's about time to give away something, right, Robin?
I think so. So we hope, honestly, this in-home party, I think that our table captains did such a great job last year that everyone really kind of was able to have the Derby feel in their homes and their Derby spirit on. And we hope that you're able to bring that with you on November 6th. So we wanted to inspire that by doing a drawing for 2 people on this call to receive their own Derby bouquets for the week of for the party. So Laura Carter, did you want to draw their names? Oh, she's frozen.
Oh, you muted, Laura. There you go.
Oh, technology.
There you go.
Okay, sorry about that. A lot of suspense there. All right, I've been practicing drawing here. Paul Verbowski.
All right.
PNTA, thank you, Paul.
And there's two,
Congratulations.
right? There's two?
Thank you,
There's
guys. I
two.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hugh, now I have to say your last name correctly, Labosier? Yay. All right.
All right.
I think Hugh's going to come offline and isn't it LeBosier?
Labosier. I
I
tried.
think yeah.
And it's Pavel. Pavel is Verbowski, right? Did I pronounce that right?
You guys absolutely nailed it. Very impressive.
There, I finally muted myself.
Thanks.
All
It's
right.
It's LeBosier, right, Hugh?
Sure, yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, wonderful. Well, you're the proud winner of a Derby in-home bouquet. So we're really excited. You know, I can't be more heartened by you just all showing up today to learn about how to do this. It really matters. That's what mattered last year, is the people who were really spreading the word. The beauty of this is if you do an in-home, there's no maximum amount of people you can host. And the same goes for the Zoom calls. You can even invite people from, across the nation, friends and family. And that's what people did last year. And it truly made the difference. So we're just really grateful. We open up, you can reach out to any one of us with questions. Mary Kay, were you going to say something? It looked like.
If I'm not interrupting, and
no, you're good.
If you're kind of getting towards the end, I just wanted to throw out, because we're getting a little bit tight on time for our donations and live auction items. And as Bill mentioned, I'm working with the team here on a package for Palm Springs, Palm Desert, La Quinta area. And we've donated our house for a period of time that it used to be the Boeing Classic tournament. It's in the middle of January. And we would love some more items to go with the house package. Our golf course will be closed because it hosts the tournament. So our house is sitting on the golf course, which is kind of fun because then all the pros and people are there and you get to witness all that, but they wouldn't be able to play golf there. So we're trying to get, some golfing, some restaurants, some other fun events that would go along with it. So I just thought I'd mention that if anybody has any, thoughts or connections or could help with that. We're making calls on our own too, but we would, appreciate any help on that. So thank you.
Well, thanks, Mary Kay, for that donation and for kind of putting that out there. Before we conclude the call, because I know we're at time here, I wanted to see by a raise of hands again, so we could get that information down of who was thinking of hosting an in-home party this year. I know that I am. Mary Kay, Camille, Hugh, Judy. Okay. Wonderful. Joel. Awesome. Okay, great. And then I'll assume that the rest of us are all hosting Zoom parties. And I know, Robin, you had a great Zoom room last year. So it was nice popping in on you all. Yeah, I think this concludes our call. We're super, super grateful. Thank you for allowing us to share with you some of the best tips that we have, and reach out to us anytime in the next few weeks. Bill, I see you're off mute. Did you have something to add?
You're good.
No, well, we're super excited. Reach out to us. And if not, we'll see you on November 6th.
See you on the 6th. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Coming.